Oh, wait.
You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
Welcome everybody to episode number 76 of the Battered Heat Fans podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, as always, is Daniel Solana. How are you doing, sir?
Well, I'm back from vacation. The Heat clearly are not back from their streaking in the wrong way. And a really disappointing game last night, right? The Heat actually played a very good game against a very good Houston Rockets team and boxing out, man. Boxing out is the key word of today's podcast because they definitely didn't box out on that last play of the game, and that was the difference in the win and the loss.
It was probably one of the more entertaining games of the year. Honestly,
Absolutely.
it was a really fun watch. I mean, we don't have to talk about the whole game. I guess we could talk about just the fourth quarter because that's when it really mattered. But to finish the third quarter, they were up by like one or two late in the third, and they got on fire the last minute and a half to push the lead to 11. And I started feeling pretty good at that point. I'm like, all right, they're up by 11. We only got a quarter to go. I think they've been playing well enough where they can keep this going. And then Houston just got, and you know what? And it was weird because the Heat to start the fourth quarter didn't look that bad either. But it was Jabari Smith hit a three. Then Myron Gardner has a horrible turnover. They push the ball right back up, another three, and all of a sudden they're down by four. And I believe the next possession we don't score. Reed Shepard hits another three. All of a sudden it's by one, and it's in a blink of an eye. All of a sudden it went from a 10, 11 point lead to all of a sudden we're trailing by like six, and it was
Yep.
crazy. It was crazy, but they didn't fold, which is I like. They're not. I'm trying to find positives here, but they didn't fold. They kept fighting and they came back.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the biggest issue, right? The biggest issue that we have is that they were up by 11, right, Danny? And and
Mhm.
and the Rockets went on a 15-0 run without Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was on the bench when they went on that 15-0 run, and that's where you have to be disappointed, right? They're missing their best player, and unfortunately, the Heat couldn't match up in the fourth quarter. They gave up 10 more points than what the Rockets gave up, and the fourth quarter was the biggest difference in terms of the scoring in the quarters, because every other quarter it was within three, within two. The Heat had a great third quarter, something that they hadn't had in a few games, and then unfortunately it was that fourth quarter that really condemned them to the loss, because like I said, they were up, and you said it, they were up going into the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to leave Houston with the win, but we have to focus on the bench, right? Because the starters the starters all played more than 30, 35 minutes, except for Pelle Larson, who played 31 minutes. But it was the bench who only gave you 10 points last night. And that's really, really disappointing. Obviously, you have a few players out. Triple J was out. Norman Powell was out. Andrew
Andrew
Wiggins was
Wiggins
out.
is
But
still out.
you didn't
Mhm.
get anything from the bench, Danny, other than 8 points from Myron Gardner, two from Drew Smith. You get nothing from Kasparis. You get nothing from Khalil Ware, who, by the way, played 5 minutes and was a minus 15. So I don't know what the hell was up with him.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that comes to show you that Spoelstra understood that this was an important game. Like you got to stop this negative role that they're on right now because the momentum is heading the complete opposite way, and he sees it. We talked about it. These next four games are four possible losses. You can go from was it wins in a row to where they're at now,
7 losses in
four,
a row,
7,
basically.
11. Like you can. That's what you could be staring at. So he knew that you needed this game for Bam to play 45 minutes. Like that's like playing game 45 minutes. Like, hey, this is win or go home type of stuff. Like you don't put 45 minutes on Bam's head if you don't think that this is an important game. And he showed up. It was a 2020. He ended up with how many points? 32 points, 21 rebounds. Like he played his ass off. Like Bam Adebayo has answered the call. He said he didn't want to be a playing player, and he isn't playing like he wants to be in the play-in anymore. Unfortunately, the rest of the roster isn't. Tyler Hero had a decent game up until the fourth quarter. Simone Fontecchio, shout out to him because if it wasn't for him, the fourth quarter might have gone. It wouldn't have been as entertaining. He's the one that stopped the 15-0 run with that three. He had a big three with like a little over a minute left to keep them in the game. Davion Mitchell, shout out to him. He had a nice steal on the inbounds after the Rockets had purposely fouled, right? They played that game where like you're down by three, so we're gonna foul you, so we only get two. Make the free throws, get the inbound steal. Uh, Davion Mitchell deflects it. Tyler Hero gets it, goes up for a layup, then drops it off to Simone Fontecchio, and Simone Fontecchio goes up with it, gets called for a goaltend, and all of a sudden they're up by 1.
But he
And
got destroyed, Danny. He should have gotten an and one on that one because
yeah,
he got absolutely destroyed by 3 Rockets players.
but at that point, you're feeling pretty good because, yeah, maybe it's a rough streak, but like that's the type of win that, like, okay, they messed it up in the fourth quarter. They should have kept that 11-point lead, or they shouldn't have gone down by 6 after being up by 11. But you fall back. That's grit, and you kind of like that. But the fact that it ends up on such a negative note because you find that grit, you do all that, and then shout out to Bam Adebayo, Kevin Durant, 7 foot game winners for a living. Like, he gets off not only that the fact that he missed the shot, but that Bam forced him into such a weird shot, right? Because Kevin Durant does such a great job of just fading away, and Bam was all over him that he had to like go sideways and do like a weird one arm shot. And look, Bam played that. Even that Bam played perfectly. But the fact that they put in Khalil Ware, and I know that he was supposedly boxing out. I forgot who it was. Big white guy.
Schengen.
Shangun. Yeah, he was boxing. But the fact that Khalil Ware comes in for this, and on that play, I understand that he had an assignment and he
Yeah, but
technically
you gotta go for the ball, Danny. You
yeah,
gotta
man,
go
that's
for
what
the
I'm saying. Like,
ball.
once that ball goes up and it just, there's only 1 second left, that's it. Box out over, crash the boards. And the fact that Tyler Hero was still in there, I mean,
Well, Tyler Hero, I mean, he was the one that was supposed to be covering Amen Thompson, and he did absolutely nothing on that last play. He was asleep. He was on like camera 3, just following him around, and he didn't even put a body on Amen Thompson. So, very, very disappointing. Very disappointing last possession there. You thought the Heat were going to steal one in Houston, and now, Danny, you have a tough schedule coming up. San Antonio at home tomorrow night, back-to-back games in Cleveland on Wednesday and Friday, then at
yeah,
the Pacers, who always give you a really, really tough time, at Indiana. And then the good news, right, is you get to close the season against basically 3 teams that are in the play-in with you or close to the play-in in Philadelphia, Toronto, and Atlanta, with 4 of the last 7 games coming against those teams. You're 2 games back from Toronto for the 6th seed, but you're also 1 game in front of Charlotte
the 10th
for the
seed.
10th seed. So there's a lot of crazy things that can happen towards the last few games of the season. I mean, we've got 11 games left, right? And I think you have to win at least 7 of these last 11 to guarantee yourself to not be in the play-in. It's going to be tough.
I don't see it. I think like this team is somehow destined for the play-in now, and it's
Now,
frustrating.
what do you think though in terms of the seeding? You think it'll be 7, 8, 9, or 10? Just out of curiosity, because they're right there. I mean, they're in 9th.
They
They're
they
a
have the
game out of
benefit.
6th.
They have the benefit that they're playing the Pacers and the Wizards twice, and that's 3. Again, they're tanking, and they're gonna tank hard because the season's almost over, and the top 3, the positionings are all like within a game of each other. So all those 3 teams are tanking hard. So I think that you'll see some type of investigation after these games because they're gonna tank so hard. The Miami Heat are going to win those 3 games. For nothing else, because the other teams refuse to win them. So, okay, that's 3 out of 10 already. And then where are the next 4? Because I
Well,
mean,
you have to beat Philadelphia. They're in front of you in the standings. You have to take 1 at least from Toronto when you play them back-to-back games in Toronto at the beginning of April. And then you
that's
have to take
true.
that last home game against Atlanta, right? If you can get that last home game against Atlanta,
Atlanta's
the 2
hot all
wins
of a
against
sudden. They're like
Boston.
11 in a row.
Yeah, but it's Atlanta. Come on. I mean, come on.
I don't know.
Last
There's
game of the
a
season. I mean, it could the good thing is it should be a fun game, the last game of the season, because there should be some sort of seeding involved. So it won't be one of those throwaway games that you normally get towards the end of the season when they have fan appreciation night and basically they just play all the bench. I think
Mhm.
everybody's going to have to play every game
Yeah,
down the
for
stretch.
sure. For sure.
We have to make sure that Andrew Wiggins starts getting healthy. We have to make sure that Norman Powell starts getting healthy. Those are 2 big players that we need for the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. When is Andrew Wiggins supposed to come back?
I don't know, man, but it's
And
frustrating to not have
what
him in there. He's such a key player for the Heat, especially on the defensive end. I mean, it's not very good that that he's been out all these games.
And we didn't touch on it last episode, actually. Now that I think about it, surprisingly, we didn't talk about it. The fact that Norman Powell came back and came off the bench.
Yeah. Well,
Do
we
you?
we we thought that was going to happen, right? Didn't we? I mean,
But I mean, when you finally see it, you're like, okay, so this is happening. Now, is this going to be like the permanent move, or is this temporary? Does he take? Oh, and let's not forget Pell Larson, probably a dunk of the year for the Miami Heat. And Bam also got Holiday late in that fourth quarter, also with the two-hand jam. Um, so I want to make sure I mention that Pell Larson dunk because that was nasty.
it was. It was. I mean, it was an absolute facial.
Mm-hmm.
Funny enough, Houston Rockets drafted Pella Larson in the second round and traded him to Miami. So thank you, Houston.
Well, we gave it right back by saying, "Hey, don't worry about it. You guys can get Kevin Durant because we value Khalil Ware so much." So I think Houston's okay. All right. Yeah, man, that's it. They got San Antonio tomorrow, which I'm counting as a loss, unfortunately, because until these are the type of loss that I feel like this is the type of game that can go both ways. If you win this game, you get some momentum, you feel good, like that was some grit. The fan base is like, all right, maybe we can figure this out. Get like we said, we want 2 of the next 4. We already lost the first one. We need to get 2 of the next 3. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but the way they lost this game, I think, is also one of those moments that can like really like derail momentum, even though it was already derailed to begin with. But it could just speed up the decline, in my opinion. I guess we'll see how that goes. Any final words, Solana?
Oh man, I'm just excited for Wemby to be coming into town tomorrow. Hopefully, that he can pull off a win. It's getting towards the end of the season where you really really need to start getting some wins here. There's 11 games left, like we talked about. We got to get 7 of these last 11. Hopefully, they can get on some sort of a streak. Maybe get some of these teams that are tanking to give them a little bit of momentum and they can pull it off. But I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. I think I'm with you. I think they're destined to be in the play-in, whether it's a 7, 8, 9, 10 seed, one of those 4 seeds. That's where the Heat are going to be. We'll see what happens, Danny. I'm getting ready. I'm ready for the playoffs, man. I'm just ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, me too. Even though it could technically just be one game. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? And I'll leave you with this. Could you imagine ending up in the 9th or 10th seed, matched up against the Orlando Magic, and then you lose to them a 6th time in 1 year?
I don't even want to think about it. Let's not think about it.
If you're listening on audio, appreciate you listening to the end. Please use 5 stars and a comment. If you watch it on YouTube, like and subscribe. And we'll be back Tuesday morning to talk about the San Antonio Spurs and Wemby. So you're going to watch Wemby for the first time. So I'm interested to see what you say about seeing him in person.
I will be at the game tomorrow with my son.
All right. So until the next one, have a good one.